Hey guys, Martin here. Monday. I'm recording this last minute on Monday. Unfortunately, things kind of got away from me this week, and I've been super busy working on videos. And, well, the important thing is that I've been super busy working on something, because I don't know about you. For those of you who don't know, this is a series about my struggles, experiences, updates on how I'm doing with depression. And I don't know about you if you're going through something similar, but I tend to find that working on something that, is able to consume all of my attention, it definitely helps me deal with any times when I'm feeling down. Wasn't feeling that down this week, wasn't feeling down much at all the last month or a month and a half. I've had a few down spots here and there, but I haven't been feeling generally miserable like I used to for a long time. For what must have been about 70 entries of this series, I'd say, which comprises maybe a year and a half of my life, and that's how I felt for a long time. But this last month, at least, has been okay. It's been okay. It's been tolerable at worst, and really good at best, honestly. And some of you might find that hard to hear, and I understand that. It sounds strange to be like, I don't want you to feel bad for the fact that I'm feeling okay, but I do understand that seeing somebody else recover when you are not at that point yet, that's difficult. It is difficult. It's difficult to see somebody, like, imagine if you're trying to climb a really huge mountain, that you can't even see the top through the clouds, and you're struggling, and you keep losing your progress, and you keep getting lost in the snow, and then you look over to your right and see somebody climbing, a relatively steep hill, and they get up to the top and they're like, okay, I did it. And they're proud of their accomplishment, but at the same time, you're like, I still have to do this, and this is frustrating for me. I understand that, and I've been there, and I'm not literally on a mountain or anything, but I've been in the struggle, and who knows? I'm not even necessarily out of it yet, but I've overcome a lot of what I've been going through. I've gotten through a lot of the fog of war, so to speak, and I do consider it to be a war, an emotional war of sorts. And for anybody out there who finds it harder to listen to my having more positive feelings and positive experiences, I'm not going to dwell on that so much. I want to reassure you, I'm not going to be like, well, this week was all right, I'm doing fine, end of the video. That's not what this show is about, and that's not what it should be. But I do want to restate every so often, maybe at the beginning of each of these videos, that I am doing better, and I'm in an okay place right now, because at the end of the day, I hope that it's encouraging to people who haven't gotten there yet. And that's the only reason I'm saying it. I don't mean to brag. I don't mean to be like, well, depression's a doddle, That's not what this is. And I don't even feel that. I don't even feel like I'm completely out of the woods. But I just want to make a note. And I want to make a note of the fact that I'm out of the worst of it. I do want to make sure that that's something that's out there, and that is not even just visible to other people, but visible to myself. Because that's the thing about depression, is it hides things that are usually relatively in the open, and it hides things about you from yourself. Good things that give you value and prove that you're a worthy person. It takes those away and it hides them, and it's like, you can't get to these anymore, but you can. They're still there. You just can't see them right now. You're not looking in the right direction. What I wanted to talk about this week, it's something that helps me, and it sort of relates to what I was just talking about, actually. It's making sure that you're aware of your progress, and it's difficult. Here's the thing. Depression is uncharted territory. Somebody at Takahata 101 of Team 4-Star was saying that in doing this show, I'm mapping the dark area of the map of life that is depression, And the map is different for everybody. Everybody has a different path that they take through what this is, this emotional minefield that is anxiety, and this ditch, this trench warfare that is depression. There's long periods of silence and loneliness, followed by horrible panicky struggle, and that's what this is. But at the same time, there are going to be moments, and this may be difficult to accept. There are going to be moments where you realize that this isn't permanent, and they may feel like a trick at times, and they may feel like a lie, because heaven knows, whenever I feel something positive about myself, I'm hesitant to believe it. I'm hesitant to believe the fact that I'm able to tell you in this video that I'm doing okay. But it's important to look at those moments and to look at yourself in those moments and acknowledge them. How you do it is up to you. When I feel like I'm doing okay, I like to take a moment and write down in a journal, or sometimes I even sit down and I start filming We're Still Here, because I'm like, hey, I'm feeling good and I have something to say about it. That's not necessarily how you're going to approach it. Sometimes I just like to tell Mariana, my wife, and obviously we're not all married, we're not all in a situation where our family is close to us, but I hope that if you're online, that there's someone you can reach out to and approach and talk to, or just take a moment to be like, hey, I'm going through some stuff, but I wanted to say out loud that I'm doing okay right now, and I'm grateful for this feeling, and I'm grateful that I still can feel this. And it's going to be few and far between sometimes. It's going to be like the mirage that you see at the far end of the desert in a cartoon. You know what I'm talking about, in movies, in old movies and old cartoons, where they're walking through the desert and they haven't had water in a long time, and they see the mirage. And it sounds like what I'm saying is that positivity is an illusion. But here's the thing. Mirages exist because there is water out there somewhere, and there is a source of life out there somewhere, but the light is tricking you into thinking that it's right over there. And sometimes that's what depression does. Sometimes it tricks you into thinking, oh, you're going to be okay in a sec. No, actually, I'm going to pull the rug out from underneath you and make you feel like crap all over again. But that doesn't mean that positive feeling isn't out there still, and it isn't waiting for you, and it isn't going to be something that you can live with. I don't know if that made any sense. But I do think it's important to take however much time, whatever form it takes, just to take the moment when it comes to acknowledge a positive feeling, and to just let it in. It's difficult. It's difficult when depression, even in your best times, it can be working against you, and it can make you not want to acknowledge it. It can make you not want to believe it, but it's real. All of these feelings are real. I've said from the start of this series that, people tell me, oh, depression, sometimes they say it's not a real thing. These feelings you're having aren't real. But it's like, yeah, they're just feelings, but feelings are real. Feelings are part of why we are who we are. Feelings are sometimes the most real. And so depression sometimes can feel like it overwhelms your reality and your life and your existence. But the same can be said for positive feelings, and they are out there. And even if they, they're 1 in a million, even if they're not very frequent, even if they seem hard to come by, you still come by them, you still find them along the way. And it's important to acknowledge and be grateful for them. And also, it's important sometimes to reward yourself for making it through all the awfulness and the shit, and getting to something that is, it might seem like a very minor thing, it might just be like you woke up in a good mood one morning. But take a moment to reward yourself for that. And that doesn't mean like go out and buy a fancy car or something. It just means, maybe just put like a note on your calendar that says, felt good today. And then you can look back at that, and at some point it might feel like, well, that was nonsense, that wasn't real. But it was real. It was real. You felt it. You felt it, and it's as real as anything else, in my opinion. And you should take a moment to just acknowledge that. That's all I want you to do, is just acknowledge the parts of yourself, not even the parts of yourself, the parts of your life, the parts of time when everything isn't really falling apart and everything isn't as it seems to be, which is when you're depressed, pointless and worthless. Because that's what isn't real. That's the lie. And you deserve to be presented with what is the truth, and that's that you're worth getting through that, and that you're worth taking the time. Take the time to just look at yourself and say, you're doing okay. Maybe you're not doing okay, but right now you're doing okay, and you're okay. And it becomes more real the more you think it. Unfortunately, it's something you have to train yourself to do. The more you think it and the more you're willing to think about it, it becomes easier. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say this week. I have to kind of cut things short and mention that next week I probably won't have a We're Still Here out, and I want you to be aware of that, and I want you to be okay with that, because what's going to happen is I'm actually moving to a new location. I can't say where, because obviously, giving away too much about where I'm at. I'm not super paranoid, but I'm just concerned. So I'm not going to be. This is probably the last We're Still Here that I'm filming where we're at. But as a result of that, there's going to be a lot of moving going on. There's going to be a lot of packing. There are actually boxes surrounding me right now. Like almost the whole place has been packed away at this point. So we're going to be relocating, which is going to be a whole process to itself. So I'm taking a week-long hiatus from any video making of any form, just to make sure that it's a stress-free experience, and to make sure that it's something that goes off without a hitch, because there's plenty of possible hitches that we have to contend with when doing something like this. So, but I hope, if not, definitely not next Monday, but if not next Monday, the Monday after, I hope to give you guys an update on where I'm at emotionally, if not physically, and I'll see you then, and I look forward to it. And you take care of yourself.